Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing the tutorial for the photo flip gift book. You guys would have seen this in the previous video. So we're going to get started with the measurements. Once again, if you're a newbie or if you're unsure about the dimensions and what have you, please cut it in scrap paper as opposed to proper cardstock first, just so that you get the hang of it and you're not wasting your cardstock and your designer paper as well. Today I'll show you the construction of it. You can actually make a mini album from this. I'll give you the size of the mini album covers for this one as well. Bear in mind, when you're doing this as a mini album, you'll need either Tyvek or Craftex. I can't construct it as a mini album at the moment, only because I'm waiting for Craftex to arrive, and that's the strongest that will hold for my mini album here, for me to be able to make this into a mini album. And I also need it for my bigger size album too, so I'm waiting and waiting. All right, but for now, let's get started on this photo gift flip book, and we will go from there. Okay, so I'm going to pop this to one side. I will give you the measurements. I've got everything organized so it's nice and easy for me. Okay, so your base page is 11.5 by 8, and you score at 1/2 inch, which is along here, and at 6 inches. And I'll leave the measurements on the screen as well so that you guys can follow along or write it down, whichever way is easier for you. Now I would recommend putting score tape on your 1/2 inch side, fold it over and seal it up. Okay, that's your base page. Then we've got the next page, which would be this one here. This sits on top of your base page. Okay, so that's it here. So that is 9 3/4 by 8, and you score it at 1/2 inch, and then 5.5 inches on here as well. Okay, once again, put your score tape down here, and that creates your flap, which will be, if I show you this part, this will create this bit here. Okay, and hopefully I'm in frame with all of this. All right, then you have another layer, which is your top flip page. Oh, if I can find it. It's my pocket. Okay, so your top flip page is 5 by 8, and then score it on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then I would probably go back, so score on 1/2 inch and then go 1 notch back and then score it again. Okay, and that will be the top flip, which will be this part here. Okay, my photo mats are coming off. I only tack them down ever so lightly in here. Then we will have our photo flips. Oh no, we'll do our pocket, and the pocket is 3 by 9, and you score 1/2 inch both ends. Okay, that is your pocket that comes along here. All right, and put your tape along there. Then the flips, the photo flips that we've got, which are actually these bits here. Okay, I'll stick them on. Okay, so they're those flips there. These ones I did 4.5 by 4 3/4 and score 1/2 inch on the 4.5 inch side, which is along this side, and you make 2 of these flips. Okay, and yeah, make 2 of those flips and stick your score tape on either side. And then for the pocket, you're going to have a photo mat, which is the pocket on the inside here. Alright, so that'll slide in like that. Or it's supposed to slide in like that. Okay. And that measures, I'll have to do it on my scoreboard. I can't find my ruler. Okay, so that's 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. Alright. So we've got all our measurements. Like I said, I'll put them down by the screen, on the screen as well. And then we'll decorate these. I don't want to do the photo mat just yet. So let's get started on the base page first and then work our way around. Now, what you want to do with your base page is stick that down first. Of course, I went over the line, so I mean, I could always fold it over and you won't see it on the inside. And I should really put my little bin there on the side. Hopefully there's enough room. So once I do get my Craft Text tape, I will do the album. At the moment, I'm working on the bigger album, which I'm super excited about. And I'll show you a glimpse of it at the end of this video. I haven't quite finished it. Okay, so all I'm going to do with this one at the moment is I just want to cover the back side of it, because I will be gluing things down on the front of it. Okay. No. I'm missing my bin there. So I hope everybody's been well. Thank you for all the responses to the photo gift flip book. It's been amazing. I hope you guys will make them, and if you do, share the video, guys. I love seeing your creations, and yeah, I wouldn't mind checking them out. Alright, so I'm just going to layer my photo mats down. Now, I haven't got a specific size that I cut these to or anything. I tend to eyeball a lot, especially if it's just for myself and they're for display purposes. Other than that, I'll have to make sure, you know, if I'm doing it for gifts, I make sure that, you know, everything is pretty much lined up. Okay, so we want to put this top layer here, which is your 9 3/4 by 8. So we want to stick that down. Now, I've already got my tape on there, and I just want to angle the corners there before I glue it down. It just helps hide the whole thing when you're putting designer paper on top. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it upside down so I can kind of see it my way. What you might want to do too is do 2 little score lines, so it leaves a little bit of a valley if you're going to bulk it up with photos. I'll try and get that as close as you can to the edge. Okay, then I don't want to put that down. I don't want to put that down just yet. So what I'll do is I want to do my pocket next, which is your 3 by 9, and this comes together so easy, guys. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have taken that down. Put your designer paper on first. I was getting a bit ahead of myself there. Or you can layer the pocket down and then do it afterwards, but it's easier if you're running it flat across. Just let me cut a bit of that off there. take the tape off. Like I said, I had these the mats already pre-cut and taped so that the video will go a lot faster. Now, the bigger album that we'll be working on, that will take some time to get through, guys, and we're going to do page by page. So we'll do the front and the back of one page in, oh boy, depending on how long it takes per video. If we can get 2 pages in one video, that would be great. But depending on how many flips I have in there as well. Okay, so we're going to get some wet glue as well. And I just want to put it on the base here, bottom part. Oh, to a thin line. As long as it sticks, because we need to create that pocket. Okay. Oh my gosh, come on. And then I'll just remove my tape as well so that I can stick the pocket on top of that layer. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that down now and leave that down. Make sure you've got it the right way. You don't want glue up the top there. That's the only thing. So what I'm going to do now is, now that that is stuck down, my pocket is stuck down, I have cut this. Now, you can put this top piece on there first, but because I cut it down enough to be able to slide into my pocket and then just hang over the edge like that, I can do it afterwards. These are great for Christmas gifts, you know, birthday gifts as well, depending on who you're giving it to as well. It's something fun, you can create. Okay, just going to eyeball this, and hopefully it's enough. That'll be okay. All right, so we've got that top part there. So that folds over. And then what I want to do is, before, and I forgot to mention this, before you stick this down, you can use a magnet to hold it all, or you can use your belly band. I've got a magnet in here, so before you cover this part here, put your magnet down first, okay? Because I've got a belly band, I'm not too fussed. I'm not going to put a magnet on this because I'll be able to use my belly band. Now, I used a 12 by 12 sheet for this, and it was about 1.5 inches across. You can make the belly band a lot thicker as well if you wanted to. Okay, so then I'm going to put the top flip over as well, and that's the 5 by 8, and then that's where we've created that little well, the valley there. Okay, so we've gone and scored 1.5, then I went back 1 line and it's created that little well. That gives you enough space to put any extra photos on underneath. And I'm just going to angle the corner again on those. Okay, it's getting stuck on there now. And we're going to take the tape off and we're going to layer it on top here as well. Okay. Ooh. I'm chucking it at myself, so I'm going to turn that around. Like I said, don't cover that if you're going to put your magnets on. I'm fine with not having a magnet there. And I'm just going to move it over and center it like that. So they're all good to go there. Then what I would do is you can cover that part there now, because we really don't need, oh, wrong side. That's only going to be used for your photo mats. There's no pocket or anything there, so. Okay. Because we don't need that anymore, and I'm just wanting to turn that around. Now, I tend to use a lot of black cardstock as a base for my albums, only because with some of the colours, like with the colourings, it makes it pop, but depending on what paper line I use as well. I think for the last one, the Graphic 45 one that we're going to recreate, oh boy, I've kind of got different ideas of how I want to do it, but there are some elements in there that are going to be the same as the Graphic 45 one, so I'm super excited about that, can't wait. Okay, so that's your top part. Okay, we open that up, open this, and then that flips out like that. So I think the next part for the top flip, we can go ahead and we can put our paper on top, if I can get the right one. I think it, yeah. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to layer on top. So let's go with that. Now, I'll leave the photo mats up to you all, to cut up yourselves, because it depends on what size photo mat you want to have in this flip. Some people might like to have just one big photo mat and then, you know, put the photo down and then journal accordingly on the other side. Others might want a smaller one, or, you know, 3x3s, 2x2s, and what have you. So just leave it as is. Now the 4.5, what we're going to do is we're going to miter the corners again on the edges there, and I'll link the, I didn't link, leave a link for the desk caddy here. I didn't leave a link for that in the last video, so I'll leave it in this video. Ooh. Actually got to me pretty quick, so I was quite surprised. Okay. Should have done the corners first, but that's okay. It's all good. Now, also, don't forget to get your punch out as well, your edge punch, if you're going to have that, to create your little pocket with. Now, what you can do with this one, I'll show you on the other one once I stick this down. Just want to make sure it's kind of on the edge but centered. What you can do as well, you can add an extra 1/2 inch to the length and then fold it over to create the pocket that way. I didn't do it with these ones, and I'm kind of kicking myself I didn't do it, but I've got plenty of scraps that I can create just a little pocket off from and just punch out. It's always good to use these scraps up. That's why these albums are really good, because it helps out with using up your scraps. And you can certainly, you know, do this in a smaller dimension as well. Okay, so this. Now the good thing is with this album, you only just need the one magnet, if that.